Marin is a research program, software platform, and community focused on building and training foundation models. Its aim is to create large language models, taking care of all aspects such as data curation, transformation, filtering, tokenization, pre-training, post-training, and evaluation. Marin believes in openly sharing every piece of process knowledge, from raw data to final model, and commits to open development by documenting experiments and decisions as they happen. If an experiment fails, it is part of the record and can teach future work. Marin already supports different domains: audio-text models, DNA models, and protein models, all built using Marin as a library. Researchers can experiment with the Marin experiments framework, which allows defining a series of steps that can depend on each other and are executed in a topological order, similar to Makefile. Core value: open development. Marin's scaling suite, called Delphi, is a set of tools that scales language model training recipes from 3x10 to the power of 18 to 1x10 to the power of 23 floating point operations, inspired by Pythia. Delphi produces a scaling recipe that maps compute budgets to model configurations, trains models on the Google TPU Research Cloud, and builds a scaling law that uses smaller Delphi models to predict the performance of larger ones. Checkpoints, training pipelines, recipe code, development methodology, and plot-ready data are publicly released, all tracked in a GitHub issue. Other key learning resources are available on the OpenAthena blog. Articles explain cluster scheduling with Iris, how to squeeze more throughput from pre-training, scaling laws that extrapolate well beyond the fit, and validation of Mixture-of experts quantile balancing at 32BA5B scale. Marin also has had notable models: an 8B parameter model that outperformed Llama 3.18B on Marin's benchmark suite, and a larger 32B model. Training scripts and retrospectives are available on GitHub. To get started in Marin, install the package. Train a tiny language model as a first experiment. Explore larger DCLM 1B/1 times experiments. Review a summary of ran experiments, and join the Marin Discord community. An example of a Marin experiment script is written in Python. It begins by importing required modules, then defines a dataset step that tokenizes the tiny stories dataset lazily. Nothing is downloaded until the step is executed. Next, it defines a training step that sets up a tiny language model, chooses an optimizer, schedules dataset usage, sets batch size, sequence length, number of training steps, and resource configuration. The training step declares a dependency on the tokenizing step, so it will run after tokenization is finished. Finally, the script runs the experiment using a step runner. This pattern shows how one can extend the framework to larger models, larger datasets, mixtures of data, and even scaling to substantial GPU or TPU clusters. For contributors, the project workflow is described in the contributing guide, and loadable agent skills reside in the agent skills directory. The project's core collaborators come from Stanford CRFM and OpenAthena. Supporters and partners help make Marin's research possible, and the community continues to grow with new contributions and collaborations.